Like, who do I really think I am with all these books? Hey y'all, this is Tasha. Welcome back to Amazing Reads. Today I am here to do my semi-late August TBR. It is extremely ambitious. However, I'm like rolling. Like, I am loving reading right now. I am reading all the time. I'm just devouring things. It is right now the 3rd of August and I have already started a couple books. So let's start with those and then we'll get into some of the other books that I want to read and I hope to get to this month. The first book that I already started on the 1st was Blood Heir by Amelie and Zhao. This is the group book for the Avatar The Last Page Turner Readathon put on by Kev, Kai, Ben, and Ben. I'll link everybody down below along with the Twitter account for the readathon. It's an Avatar themed readathon. There's the 4 tribes: Earth, Water, Fire, Air. The focus is to read diverse books. So what I did was I couldn't decide which group, tribe, kingdom I wanted to be a part of. So I got one for all of them. So it's a 2-week-long readathon. I may be able to read 5 or 6 books in 2 weeks, but I mean, I don't know. But this is the first one that I picked up. It's the group book Blood Heir. What this is it's kind of an Anastasia retelling where, ooh, I don't have on my microphone. Start over. Okay, you should be able to hear me better now that I put on my mic, so there you go. Anyway, this is an Anastasia retelling, kind of, that takes place in a Russian-inspired fantasy world. There are affinities in this world, and affinities become indentured servants to people. Our main character was the princess, who has a blood affinity, which is very rare and considered very dangerous. So she is exiled from being the princess and told to run after her father's murder that they accused her of. And so now she's on the run. She meets up with a con man in a prison. This happens in the first of the book, and things go from there. I am about halfway through with this. I'm enjoying it. The writing is quick to get through. It's good. It's very atmospheric. There's nothing special about the Russian-inspired world. I do find the affinities really interesting and how all of that works. So this is the first book that I'm reading, that I'm already starting this month. The next book that I have already started is Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno-Garcia. And this is a Gothic horror novel. Everybody's talking about it. It came through in my library, so I am listening to this on audio. I am very much enjoying this. I guess I'm a horror reader now. I'm a woman of many facets. So anyway, this follows Noemi, who is sent to the estate where her cousin and her cousin's husband live. And all this strange stuff is happening. She's trying to figure out what's going on with her cousin, because her cousin has been sending weird letters. So Noemi goes to try to like rescue her cousin. The house is real creepy. The house is pretty much a character in itself. The people there are real creepy. The town is real creepy. It's creepy. It's giving me the creeps, and it's making me like, ugh. But I'm not scared to the point where I can't sleep. Not yet anyway, but I heard it gets kind of scary. And there's spirits in this, and I don't really do spirits, but we'll keep going. Unless it gets too scary, then I'm not going to finish it. I'm just going to be honest with you. Okay, the additional books that I have for the Avatar The Last Page Turner Readathon are, and I put this picture up on my Instagram, and it is Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. I got this book from my friend Star. She runs the Women of SFF blog that I will link down below. And I got this for my birthday. That's in a couple days. Anyway, but this is a book that deals with, I can't remember. It's like the main character is supposed to have her magic, but she doesn't have it yet. So she is really, she trades time off of her life to gain her magic, is my understanding of it. I don't know a whole lot about it. I don't want to know a whole lot about it. I have heard that it's really good. And since the Avatar Readathon kind of overlaps with the with Tome Topple, which I'll talk about that in a minute, I'm going to read this in the second week, and if they overlap, it's cool because, you know, it's a tome. Well, it's almost a tome. It's like $4.90 or whatever. Anyway, Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. The next one that I have is Kindred. I'm reading this for the Readathon, but in addition to that, by Octavia E. Butler. I'm reading this for the Readathon, but in addition to that, there's a slow read going on, hosted by Nigiri with Onyx Pages, Magically Tati, and Sister Sci-Fi. They're doing a slow read of all of Octavia E. Butler's books. This is the first one that they're starting with. I believe the live show's at the beginning or sometime in September. So I really want to read and participate in it. I can't believe I still haven't read an Octavia E. Butler book. I don't know who I think I am, but I will be rectifying that hopefully in this first week of the month. And I'm just really excited. This is about a black woman, a modern black woman, who gets sent back in time some kind of way to the South during slavery, and she's been going back and forth, and then every time she goes back in time to the slave time, it gets more and more dangerous. I've heard everybody I know just shouts about how good this is, so I really just want to curl up with this, get my pens out, get my sticky tabs, and really just deep dive into this book because it sounds amazing. It's Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. And the next book that I have on my Avatar The Last Page Turner TBR is Race to the Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse. This follows, I believe it follows twins. This is part of the Rick Riordan Presents, and it focuses on Navajo Navajo folklore about the hero twins. I'm so excited to read another Rick Riordan Presents because I love these books. I love learning about new and different mythologies and folklores. Readathon. Yes.
How did we go through this stuff and give me a book?
Last book of my Avatar The Last Page Turner Readathon TBR. How many times am I going to say it? Is Lobizona by Romina Garber. This is a book that has undocumented immigrants. It's a commentary pretty much on that. Our main character is tied to the moon cycle. I don't know a whole lot about it. I have an advanced reader copy of it. It comes out tomorrow. Well, tomorrow when I'm filming this video, but on August 4th. And I really want to get to it early in the month so that I can go ahead and review it. I've heard very positive things about it, and I read I think the first 2 chapters already, but I really want to read it and talk about it because I have heard very good and positive things about it. So I'll have more of that in my wrap up because I don't know what it's about. There's another readathon going on. Tome Topple starts on the 8th or 9th. One of the two. I want to say the 8th. And it runs for 2 weeks. So the 2 readathons do overlap. For that one, I have a very ambitious 4-book TBR. We'll see. Most of them are on audio, so I might be able to go ahead and knock them out. But we'll see. Anyway, for that one, the first book that I have is The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell. I've heard really good things about this one. It is set in New York. And I think that it goes back to the 20s, which I love the 1920s, just the glamour and all of it. I don't know how involved black people were in that, but I like the 20s. And it's been compared to the Diviners, and I don't like to know too much about fantasy books when I'm going in. I tend to read to see if I can figure out what's going on. And then if I can't, then I'll go to the blurb or the summary on the back. So I don't know a whole lot about this. I've heard very positive reviews of it. And I got it from the used bookstore for like $3 in the clearance section. So, you know, if I don't like it, I'll just take it back. But this is The Last Musician by Lisa Maxwell. The next one that I have on my TBR that I actually have a physical copy for, but I also have this on audiobook, is The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Oh, let me check to see if this is even 500 pages. It is. Okay. I didn't know. Anyway, The Blade Itself is a grimdark fantasy. I've heard that it's very character focused, but everybody seems to like this series. They don't particularly like the first book as much as the rest of the series. And I think at this point there's 3 trilogies in the series. Anyway, I really enjoy adult fantasy. I've heard great things about this one, so I really want to give it a try. I got the physical copy from the library, even though I own the audiobook, just because sometimes with denser fantasies, I need to see it with my eyeballs instead of just listening to it. So this might be one of those where I need to read it physically. Let's hope not, because I don't have enough time for that. But if I do, it's fine. And that's The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. Next 2 are audio listens that I have, and one of them I have the audiobook and the ebook. For that one, that is The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang. I'm obviously going to continue the Poppy War series. It's amazing. It's a grimdark fantasy that follows the Sino-Japanese War. Don't quote me on that. And it's amazing. It's brutal and dark and all the trigger warnings, but it's so well written. It's so well paced. I really loved it. Ren is such a remarkable character, albeit she's not likable all the time, but like I'm not likable all the time, so I don't care. Anyway, so the basic premise of the Poppy War is Ren is a orphan who's staying with people who she calls auntie, and they're opium dealers, and she takes this test to try to go to this big military school. She ends up going, and before she finishes up her first year, there's a war that breaks out, and so they have to go to war basically, or I think they finished her first year, but anyway, there's a war that breaks out while she's at the school before she can finish, and it's amazing. Everything people say about it's amazing. It's really that good. R.F. Kuang did that. She did it. So I'm curious to see where the story continues because of the way that it ends. I'm curious to see the gods and how those all tie in some more into the world. I love it. And so I really hope that I can get to the audiobook. I've heard the audiobook was really, really good. And so I really hope that I can get to it during Tome Topple and go ahead and knock that out so I can be good and ready for Bird and God. Harper, hello. I think it's Harper. Whoever. Somebody approve my arc. I really want to read it. Thanks. The last book that I have on my Tome Topple TBR is The Warmth of Other Suns. I had this out from the library not too long ago with the resurgence of people wanting to actually read about Black history. I had to turn it back in. Yeah. Anyway, so I have it on audiobook, and so I think me and my friend at work are going to listen to it soon. This talks about the Great Migration that Black people did, coming from the South to the North. I have not read any nonfiction in over a month, and I'm having withdrawal, so I really need to slide in this nonfiction. It's something that I'm totally interested in, that I want to know more about. So I want to make sure that I get to that one during the week of Tome Topple. And that's my Tome Topple TBR. Other than that, I don't know what else I'm going to do. I don't know what other readathons I'm going to get to. But I do have a few books that I'm for sure going to get to this month. The next one that I have is Now That I've Found You by Kristina Forrest. This follows 18-year-old Evie, whose grandmother is famous. Evie wants to be famous too. Something happens. Her grandmother goes missing, I want to say, or something like that. I'm on the blog tour for this towards the end of the month, so I'm definitely going to read this and give my thoughts on it and my own voices reflections. This cover is gorgeous. This story sounds amazing. I can't wait to get to it, and I will have more thoughts on this at the end of the month. All right, I've been filming for almost 20 minutes, so let's go ahead and get through this. The next books that I have are middle grade fantasies that I received for review from book publicists, and that is Thomas Wildus in the Book of Sorrows and Thomas Wildus in the Wizard of Samaria. This is, let's see, the tagline on the first book, which is this one: magic is real, Thomas. No matter what happens, always remember that magic is real. And so basically we follow a boy on his 13th birthday. Things happen. I don't want to know too much about it. I love going into middle grade fantasy, I love going into middle grade fantasy without knowing anything about the world, but just jumping in there and learning the world with the main character. That's my favorite part about middle grade fantasy, and y'all know I love me some middle grade. This is by J.M. Bergen, and I am so excited to get to this because there looks like there's wizards and magic and all the things that I need to escape the fact that I'm getting older. So there you go. The next book that I have is a buddy read with Ashley from the Bookish Realm, and that is Song of Blood and Stone by L. Penelope. There are, I want to say, 4 books in this series. I think the first 3 are out, but we've both been putting this off reading it, so we decided to get together and read it this month. So I'm really excited to buddy read with Ashley because, like, she's amazing. I'll link her channel down below, which y'all are probably already subscribed to her if you found me, because I'm way more obscure than she is. But anyway, this is a fantasy romance. I've heard that this, as the series goes on, the romance takes a back seat. I don't know a whole lot about it. Again, I don't like to go into my fantasies knowing too much, but I am very excited to get to this. I've had this on my shelf for ages. Ooh. Look, there's something on the cover. Well, you can't see it. In the beginning, there was silence. Oh. And then look at this end paper. Anyway, I didn't got distracted, but we're buddy reading this month, and I'm really excited about it. The last 2 books that I'm going to put on my official TBR are The Dam by Renee Ahdieh. This is the second book in the Beautiful series. The Beautiful is like a murder mystery with vampires. People were disappointed because the vampires weren't on the page, but I mean, it was obvious vampires in The Beautiful. This was so good, and well, not this one, but The Beautiful is so good. Selena is such a remarkable character. So is Sebastian. I really liked learning their story and seeing everything that's going on. I'm really excited because of the way that The Beautiful ended to see where this story goes. I've heard that they overcompensate for vampire being on the page in this one because it wasn't so much on the page in The Beautiful till towards the end. But I'm so excited to continue this series. I don't know how many are going to be in it. If it's anything like the first one, then I'm going to continue to read them. And that, all right, my friends, that's everything that's officially on my August TBR. I know that there's a historical romance readathon, so I may do that for one weekend. I don't know. I have some other books out from the library that I probably will want to pick up, but you know, I'm just going to go with the flow. I don't want anything to be too structured. Please let me know the books that you are planning to read in August. I'm late, so like tell me what you're reading. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.